Okay, good morning, kiddos, and happy Monday. Today we're going to be talking about Unit 5, Exam 1, Day 10, something called histograms. So, as always, remember, on the top of your paper, please write your name. And before we're good to go, I just want to remind you of a couple things. First thing, test on Wednesday. Okay? So, as we get ready for Wednesday, you are going to have a test, which if today's Monday, we have Tuesday, and then Wednesday. It's coming up really fast. So before we start talking about today's notes, I see there's a blank page at the bottom here. Go to the blank page. Go to the blank page. Couple things. For your test Wednesday, okay, you guys don't have to write this down. This is just so you can see it. You need to know measures of center. Measures, I can spell. Measures, there we go. Of center. So that's your mean, your median, and your mode. You need to know how to find these. You need to know when it's best to use each one of those numbers. You also need to know what an outlier is. Okay, that's your vocab word. You have to know what is an outlier. How do I find it? Which one is the outlier in the set? So for Wednesday, we have measures of center, which are your mean, median, your mode. In outlier, you have measures of variance, which this is your IQR, your MAD, and your range. Okay. The last things you need to know is you need to know how to make a dot plot and a histogram, which we're about to talk about the histogram right now. So again, you have a test on Wednesday that covers all of the statistics unit. You need to be comfortable with measures of center, which is mean, median, mode. You need to be able to find the outlier. You need to be able to find measures of variance, that's IQR, MAD, and range. You also need to be able to understand and create a dot plot and a histogram. So that's everything you need to know for Wednesday. But now, let's get started with histograms. So a histogram is a type of bar graph. So you're filling in bar graph used to display numerical data that are organized into equal intervals. So what does that mean? We're creating a graph or just a picture that's going to show all of our data, and it's going to have these little intervals, which are going to look just like bars for us. Now, there's one thing you should know about this. A histogram is different from a bar graph because there's no space between the bars. Okay, what do I mean by this? I'm going to go back down to our empty spot so I can show you a picture real fast. A bar graph, again, you don't have to write this. This is me just showing you. The ones that you've seen in terms of bar graph that you've probably seen growing up look something like this. There's a bar here, there's a bunch of space. There's a bar here, there's a bunch of space. There's a bar here. And it would be like, this is how many people like blue. This is how many people like the color green. And this is how many people like the color red. And then there are like numbers on the side. 2 people, 4 people, 6 people, 8 people, blah, blah, blah. Today, we're talking about a histogram, which is different because a histogram is going to talk about numbers on this side and on this side. And your bars are going to touch. See how there's no space in between it? And this is going to say, there's going to be intervals on this side too. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And this, it's not going to tell you a topic. It's going to have some sort of numbers. So like, how many pets do you have? How many pets Okay, your answers to how many pets you have a bunch of different numbers. Maybe this person, or maybe some people have 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15. So we have intervals. These are intervals on the bottom. Bar graphs have categories. So by categories, it's talking about a different topic like blue, green, red. Histograms have intervals. And each one of these little things, like 1 through 5, that is an interval. Okay? All right, so again, this is just a quick little picture to help you understand. You don't have to write this down or anything, but you've seen bar graphs growing up, but I'm not sure if you've seen a histogram. So that's the difference. Bar graphs have these categories. Histogram is a type of bar graph, but it talks about these intervals instead of the categories. So we're going to scroll on up, and we're going to talk about one for the first time. Okay, so a neighborhood pool recorded the following number of people who visited during the first 10 days of summer break. Create a histogram to represent this data. All right, so we're looking at, we've got 65, 56, 81, 89, 94, 110, 103, 88, 83, and 70. So again, what do these numbers mean? This means how many people visited the pool. So on day 1, 65 people visited the pool. On day 2, 56. On day 3, 81. So we have some steps here to kind of explain how we're going to do this. Now, we're going to make these numbers fit into this histogram. It's already been set up for us. It even has all of the intervals linked really, really nicely for us. So, look at the first interval and find how many will fit inside of that range. So if I see right here, this is all the numbers between 51 and 60. So this could be 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. So let's look at up here. How many numbers are in between there? Okay, so do I have a 51? No. 52, 53, 54, nope. 55, nope. 56, 57, 58. Oh, wait, hold up. There we go. There's 56. I got one. Anything else? No, I don't think so. So, I only had one that fit in here. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to draw a bar. Actually, let's do this first in the black. And it goes up only till 1. Okay. Just to 1. I'm just going to color this in so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. You don't have to, but. Okay. Now we're going to look at our second interval, 61 to 70. How many numbers go between 61 and 70? Oh, here's one. 65. Oh, and exactly 70. So it looks like this time my interval's got 2. So I'm going to draw this bar. That was kind of crooked. Sorry, guys. I'm going to draw this bar straight up to the 2. And again, I'm not leaving any space. They are right next to each other. These bars are going to touch. I'm being very picky with my lines. Okay, so draw your bar in. And then feel free to highlight it or color it in if you'd like. Okay, now we need to find all the numbers between 71 and 80. Wow, I actually don't think there are any. That's okay. So if you're in a situation where there are none, you can just put 0. And it's just a line. Nothing happens. It just stays a nice little line. All right, how about between 81 and 90? Oh, there we go. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like I have 4 for that section. So there's 4 here. So I'm going to draw this up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully your lines are a little straighter than mine. And then we color that guy in. Ah, sorry. We're going to try that again. It's apparently my little pen here is going crazy on me. Okay, next section, 91 to 100. Looks like I just have one. Oh, I want to change colors. Just one. So that goes right to there. And then last section is 101 to 110, and I've got 2. All right, and there we go. Now, we're not quite done. We've used the numbers to draw bars. So these are the bars that we drew. We repeated until all the data is complete. So we did all the sections. Last thing is I need a title. In order for a histogram to truly show you what the data represents, you have to tell people, what is this data talking about? In this case, it looks like the data is talking about the number of people at the pool. And we're done. All right, so now we're going to scroll on down. We're going to do it again with a number. Another set of numbers. Okay. Example 2. Here are the numbers of trees planted by a local middle school student on Earth Day, or students on Earth Day. So 5 trees, 2 trees, 10 trees, 4 trees, 7 trees, 10 trees, 11 trees, 6, 1, 4, 4, 3, 1, 12, 5, 12. Okay. Oh, and there's an additional question here. What is the range of these numbers? Now remember, range is your biggest minus your smallest. Now, I take a look at my list. I could find my biggest and I could find my smallest, but sometimes, especially also when I'm trying to make intervals, which you're going to see in just a little bit, I find it a bit easier if I put these numbers in order. Do I have to put them in order? No. But sometimes it helps me see how many numbers are in an interval a little bit better. So I am going to put these in order. So I have a 1, a 1. The other ones? Nope. So I have a 2. Any other 2s? Nope. A 3. Any other 3s? No. 4. 4. 4. How about 5s? I've got 1, 2 5s. I have a 6, a 7. So 8s, nope. 9s, nope. 10s, there's 2 of them. And 11, and 2 12s. Okay, so by putting this order, now it's really easy to find my range because it's super easy to see my biggest and my smallest. Again, do I have to put them in order? No, if you can see the order without, or see which one's the biggest and which one's the smallest without putting them in this list, you don't have to. But this list sometimes helps me when I have to look for intervals. So my biggest is 12. And my smallest was 1, so it looks like my range is equal to 11. Because 12 minus 1 gives me 11. All right, so now, I'm going to show you the bottom of this picture really fast. This one doesn't have any of the numbers, okay? You don't have any of the intervals listed. You don't have any of the frequency listed. So this time, we're going to have to figure that out on our own. So, what is an appropriate interval for your data? This part where it says choose an interval that will result in 4 bars. Nah, you can kind of do whatever. So we're going to get rid of this. Bye-bye. I don't have to do 4 bars if I don't want to. Goodbye, little line. Okay, so let's take a look at our data. And this isn't an exact science. You could pick a different interval than me. This is just getting an idea of what would kind of make sense. There are more than one options for this. All right. So my smallest number is a 1. My highest number is a 12. So I need to figure out how can I count from 1 to 12 in a set of intervals. So, maybe I'm going to count by 5s. I don't want a lot of bars. Let's count by 5s. So my first interval, I'm going to make 1 through 5. I'm going to end it. So then my second interval would be 6 through 10. I'm going to end it. Then 11 through 15. I'm going to end it. I might have one more. 16 to 20. Why not? Okay. So I've now set my intervals. Let's see how many numbers are between 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, 9. That's a lot. Do I have room for 9? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I do not have room for 9. So it looks like I'm going to have to change what I count my frequency by. So I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, that'll fit. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And just a reminder, this is my frequency. Frequency is how many times do those numbers show up in that interval. And these are my intervals. Now again, I got to check how many were there between 1 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There were 9. So I'm going to take this, and I need to go up to 9. So that's going to be between 8 and 10, so it's going to land right in the middle there. Okay? Let's color in my first one. And my board's moving. And the fact that that's a different color is going to make me crazy. All right, there we go. Okay, now we're going to look at our interval 6 to 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. That interval is going to be 4. So I'm going to draw this up. Oh, 4 is nice and marked. That one makes it pretty easy. There's my 4. Okay, let's look at my next interval. This has to go between 11 and 15. So 1, 2, 3. Looks like I have 3. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. That doesn't have to go there. Okay, and 3 looks like, here's 4 and 2. So 3 is going to go right in the middle of that. Let's take a look at my last interval. Oh, I'm out of numbers. So there is nothing that's going to go in my last interval. It's just going to kind of go at the end. The end. Now, you could have counted these intervals by 2s. You could have counted these intervals by 10. You could have done something different with that. That's absolutely okay. Now, it even tells me right here, don't forget a title. So what did these numbers represent? They were how many trees? Planted each day. All right, take a look at our next one. And I believe this is our last one. Yes, this is our last one. Now, before we get started, I'm going to need all this space. Let's get rid of all... What is happening to this? There we go. We're going to get rid of all of our loveliness here. Goodbye, goodbye. Make sure you study for Wednesday. You need to study for Wednesday. Thanks. Did I get it all? Yes, I got it all. Okay, so this time we have numbers and then we have nothing. So we're going to have to make everything from scratch for this one. So here are scores of 7 students on a standardized test. Create a histogram for this data. So I'm going to put the numbers in order. It's a strategy that helps me. Do you have to? No, but this is what works for me. So 187 is my smallest. I think, yep, 215 looks like it's next. Comes after that, 234, 230, oh, 224. Then it's my 234, and I have 2 of those. 238 and 243 looks like it's my biggest. I'm out of room. Okay, so I need to come through, and now I need to make my histogram this time. So, oh goodness, try your best to make semi-straight lines. I feel like mine are not going to be straight, so I'm just going to apologize now. Can I make a shape? Is there a shape thing with this? No. Okay. I got to draw straight lines. Straight-ish. Stay straight-ish. Stay straight-ish. Sure, close enough. Okay. So here's my box for my histogram, not Instagram, histogram. And I need to figure out an interval that's going to cover this. I'm going from 187 all the way to 243. So let's count by 20s. Let's make this first one 180 to 199. 200 to 219. What do I have to get to? 243? Oh boy, okay. 220 to 239. And my last one's 240 to 259. There we go. Okay. So you want to try to make your intervals kind of the same size. I did not do a grand job, so I'm going to redo my tick marks because all my intervals looked slightly different. So I want to try to make them semi the same size, which means my picture's not lined up perfectly, but you get the idea. Okay. So let's see how many fall in between my range. Oh, so sorry. We should probably write that these are intervals. This is going to be my frequency on this side. And let's just put a title on it now. What was this? Student scores. Okay. All right, so how many fall between 187 and 199? Looks like we just have 1. So my frequencies look like they're going to be fairly low. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let's do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, since I only have 1 in this category, I'm only going to go up to 1. All right, how many between 200 and 219? Looks like I've got, well, again, just 1. All right, how about my next section? 220 to 234. I'm sorry, 220 to 239 is this little section here. I'm going to rewrite this so this is a little bit more underneath there. This is 220 to 239. Actually, I'm going to move this guy too so we don't get him confused. This section was 200 to 219. There we go. I'm going to redo this last section too so it's easier to see. That last section's going to, go away 9. Last section's going to be 240 to 259. Okay, so here we go. For 220 to 239, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually have 4 in that section, so this is a bigger section, up to 4. Okay, and last one. How many are between 240 and 259? I have just 1 again. All right, and there you have it, guys. This is how to make histograms. Just a friendly reminder, your test is on Wednesday. You need to know measures of center, That's your mean, median, your mode. You need to know measures of variance, which is IQR, MAD, and range. You know what an outlier is, and you need to make all of these histograms on your own. Thanks, and that's all.